Have you ever broken up with a man because of his penis? If so, why? It was for more reasons than just his penis, but I deduced later that it had to be his penis that caused me to have multiple issues with my vagina. I never had a UTI before we met, never had an abnormal pap, and didn't have a lot of bladder infections. The 2 years we dated I had more bladder infections and UTIs than most people have in their lifetime. I had 2 abnormal paps and had to get a cervical biopsy, thankfully it came back fine. I shit you not, since we broke up I have never had an issue again. I have no idea what the cause was, but I chalk it up to my body telling me to get that dick away from it. Edit, since many have asked, yes, he was uncircumcised, but I've been with other uncircumcised men with no issue. Some men know how to clean their junk, and some just don't. Once dated a guy that had a mega penis. No matter what we did, he hurt me. Neither of us found the situation enjoying, so we decided to part ways. He didn't wash it. Ever. Nobody wants to be giving a blowjob that has texture. It needs to be cleaned on a regular basis. It smelled like sour cream and bacon chips. Built like a needle, fuck like a sewing machine. All these women complaining of dicks that are too big really lifts my spirits. Yes. It was too big and he only knew one speed, jackhammer. Other than that, he would have been perfect. I tried talking to him about it, but he would always have to end it drilling me despite my cries of pain. Yes, I have. Because he never fucking washed it, it took me a few dates to catch on, but after the second time I went to go down on him and everything was all still there from the day before, I decided I was out. So what I've learned from this thread. 1. It really is all about the motion in the ocean, not the size of your dingy. 2. Guys apparently don't know how to wash their own dicks. Don't know if this counts, but a guy asked me out and like 10 to 15 minutes after I said yes he spammed me 10 pics of his dick, so I never talked to him again and he told my mom I was ignoring him. My sister once broke up with a guy she'd been dating, and sleeping with, for about a month. Apparently, she'd never really looked at his penis, sex in dark rooms. She knew he had a tattoo on his penis, but didn't know what it said until she finally went down on him. He had the words bitch binky tattooed on the side of his dick. No, I don't know the backstory. And with that knowledge, she was done. /edit, after 8 years and countless thousands of comments, this becomes my most upvoted comment ever? Effing LOL. Don't ever change Reddit. What an interesting read, spent an hour on this already. I have an unusual story for this. Over 20 years ago I was set up with a Guatemalan guy some friends of mine knew. We went out and I figured I would never hear from him again. He was way out of my league in the looks department. To my surprise he asked me out again. After a few dates we wound up going back to his place. We were making out and he said he needed to tell me something before we went any further. He told me that several years ago he had been in an accident and the tip of his penis was cut off. It was still functional, but he wanted to make sure I was okay with that before we went any farther. I told him I didn't mind. It was just a small piece of the tip that was missing, but instead of being rounded the top of his penis was kind of jagged. Not really sure how to best describe it. Surprisingly, this actually made the sex much more pleasurable. As we continued dating I learned he was in the United States to have plastic surgery to fix his penis. It took 6 weeks to heal and once it was healed it looked completely normal. And sadly, sex was just normal too. Not nearly as good as before. That along with the fact that after the surgery he kind of became an asshole led me to break up with him. My sister broke up with a dude because his junk was too big. I overheard a conversation when she was telling my mother why she is not seeing him anymore. I laughed when I heard my dad in the background say Jesus Christ. What's the most boring movie you've ever seen? Tall Girl 2, it was beyond the point of just being a bad movie. For some reason I watched Battlefield Earth in theaters. I woke up at the ending credits. 8 Yomi watched March of the Penguins not knowing it was a doc. After Earth. Transformers, The Last Night. I fell asleep during one of the action scenes. If I commit to seeing a movie in a theater, I'm in it till the credits scroll. Even if the movie is meh, I enjoy the experience of being out with a friend and seeing a film on the big screen that others spent portions of their own lives to put together. I have never been so close to walking out of a film than I was watching Lady in the Water. My ass actually raised out of the seat and hovered for a second before I gritted my teeth and swore that the movie wasn't going to beat me. It tried, valiantly and desperately at every turn it tried to kill me with absolute boredom and frustration. In the end I made it, but to this day it's been the only one to come that close to victory. Deleted. I went to see it in the theater with 2 friends, but it was a largely empty theater. The movie was terrible and we started discussing how bad it was. The people in front of us heard, and instead of getting annoyed with our talking, they agreed. We started talking to them, and then spent the rest of the movie talking with our new friends until the credits rolled. I have no idea what the movie was. Edit, I've been on Reddit for years, and this comment has probably as many likes as I've gotten in all those years combined for a movie I don't remember. Thanks for the awards, I've never got any before. Till I enjoy a wide range of dull films. Most of those Hallmark romance movies, 90% happen at Christmas, have near identical plots, overlapping cast, some name like Christmas Town, or A Christmas Kiss. The dialogue is always bland and makes me hate every character the more I listen, and the characters are usually one-dimensional. The fact that I can't name a single one of the movies, and yet you could Google my criteria and probably find over 100 similar movies should speak volumes to how bland the formula is. I mean, credit where credit is due, they found a formula that appeals to aging housewives, but that just ain't me. The Happening, a movie where people ran away from nothing for 2 hours. Mano's Hand of Fate. 50 Shades of Grey. The Last Airbender. Cats, 2019. Gay people of Reddit, what's the hardest part about being gay? I grew up in a smaller town. I'm bi, so a little of this, a little of that. I had some gay porn between my mattress and box spring. Some friends and my ex-GF found it while I was at work. That shit spread like fucking wildfire. My ex-GF and her new BF had a blast outing me to anybody who would listen. This was all about 15 years ago and it haunts me to this day. When I texted her and begged her to stop, she responded with ha 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 ha. And we never spoke again. Now that it's cool and progressive to support LGBTQ and rights, she's an ally and supports love 2,000 miles away from our hometown. Fuck you, Candace. Edit, whoa. This blew up. You guys are cracking me up. I'm much happier now, and hopefully she went on to meet people who actually changed her shitty behavior. Either way, fuck Candace. It's lonely. Especially if you're not an extrovert or mainstream gay person. Removed. Trying to gauge if someone is gay or not before asking them out. Finding other gays. I'm convinced the majority of gay people have gone into unhealthy relationships BC they had little other option. Being disowned by my family and friends, the feeling of loneliness hurts, you know. Career path limitations. Let's say you're working as a construction worker, in finance, or any other non-stereotypically gay industries. You have the option of *1. Coming out and risking weird/hostile treatment, even from people who genuinely believe that they're not homophobic. *2. Lying and maintaining that lie afterwards, with all the risks that comes with, or *3. Being a weird, standoffish, quiet coworker who only talks about work and never anything personal. Good luck getting promoted or invited for happy hour. The glass ceiling is real. Edit, I've done one, and was unpleasantly surprised to get hated by a coworker that I didn't even interact with. I found out later that he'd even tried to get me fired in board meetings for no good reason. Also got a weird comment from the VP when he was drunk. And this was in a progressive Canadian city with a long-haired pothead for a company president. 2. Isn't an option, as I suck at lying and avoid it at all costs, and 3. Doesn't work well with my personality, so I've had to switch career paths entirely in my mid-30s because of the alienation I feel in the workplace. Yay! This is a pretty minor annoyance, compared to, say, living in a country where it is illegal to be. As a gay man, I often run into women that'll treat you like a homo Paris Hilton purse chihuahua. I'm gay? That obviously means that I'm fabulous and love all things fashion, gossip, and pop culture. I mean, I fucking do, but it is nice to get treated like a well-rounded human being rather than a tokenized stereotype. You'll tell someone you're gay and they immediately are like, hey girl, hey sis. Had to explain to a former friend that being called her gay best friend felt a little reductive and hurtful. Finding a suitable partner, statistically we have fewer people to choose from, haha. Not being able to show affection towards your so in public as openly as straight people without having to worry about who you're going to offend with it. To the point where they might assault you for it. Having to always guess how it will affect you when you out yourself in a new environment, e.g. a new workplace. Being called a groomer and a pedophile. The ridiculous insults of those who want to perpetuate the hate for their own gain. My older sister once asked me to help lead a Girl Scout troop. I had to explain why that would be a bad idea. The lies. They hurt. Coming out every day. It's not a once-off thing. Like when you start a new job or make new friends. The discrimination, Captain Holt. The hate. People just don't seem to understand that being gay isn't a life-consuming thing, it's just a part of me, and I feel it to the same amount and extent that you do. I don't think about it, I can have normal conversations with people, and just like you, I don't like 99% of my own gender. But people make it so it's this evil things that changes my entire lifestyle, and I chose it and it sucks. It's genuinely more difficult to find a partner. 90% of your target population is not interested in you just because of your gender, so you have a much smaller pool to work with. The internet makes gay people seem much more common than they actually are. Edit, I'm talking about long-term partners, not just hookups. Based in an Arab country. Being seen as the embodiment of sin and the downfall of morality when all I do is eat McDonald's and watch It's Always Sunny.